Reseller Clickbait Podcast, episode 57.
And you know who it is. It's Jimmy Old School Flips and Ken SSKPromo, the podcast that is moving up the charts on the audio side. Like, we are big deals on the audio side.
Yeah, we are doing really well. We do this podcast on YouTube and on the audio, like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. It's on Amazon Podcasts or whatever pretty much wherever you listen to them.
And apparently it's doing pretty good over there, right? I mean, I don't see those numbers. I just had to ask Ken, hey, how are we doing on the audio side?
Yeah, we do. It does pretty good. It runs most of the time a little bit better than the video side,
which is shocking. That's shocking.
Yes, I know. Who doesn't want to see us in person? So if you are only an audio listener, we'll put the link to the channel down. Wait, we can't put the link in the description. There's not a description on there. Well, yeah, maybe we can
just say it. Let's just say the link. Come over to YouTube so you can see these beautiful faces. Come over to YouTube so you can see these beautiful faces. It's Reseller Clickbait Podcast on YouTube. You just have to search that. Look for two beautiful looking gentlemen, and that's the podcast. That's not the podcast, actually. That would never be us.
Yeah. So yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, we'll start get some more views or drag over some of those folks if you want to see some of the things that we're showing, see our cool backgrounds,
like the 75 mascots that Ken has at this point. You got to put a face to the mascot and come over to the YouTube channel and see it.
Commonwealth Hudson and Fleet Frank and old screen flips up there. Don't turn my head, because then you can't. I don't know why that does that on this microphone. For some reason,
you got old over there. And we got over there. Sorry.
So Jimmy, how was your week? So we're kind of flying. Are we flying solo? If we're just the duo this week, because last week we had Frank and Janelle from FJ Treasures with us, and that was pretty cool and a fun time. And that video was doing really well. Had a lot of good comments there.
I bet you the audio's doing better though.
It was. I didn't look at the numbers yet today. I'll look at those tonight when I upload the audio for this. That'll come out tomorrow morning at 11 a.m.
Yeah.
But how was your week?
How was my it was good. Sourcing was good. Sales were good. Sales are picking back up.
Good.
Except for that I somehow hurt my ankle over the weekend, and then I woke up today and I hurt my back. So I'm a mess physically, but eBay's doing great.
Well, hey, sometimes you got to make the money to pay all these medical bills apparently that you have coming up.
My house hippo, which is my puppy French bulldog, when I was sleeping, he plopped down on the top of my head, and I thought I was done for. I thought that was it. I thought I was done.
Just kind of jammed you all up. And
So that's how. So today I have a bad back. Anyways, that's how was your week? Or are you talking about like eBay wise?
Oh no, just in general and eBay. But my week was good. It's pretty much normal. Put some work in during the week and hit the sales. Thursday, Friday,
sales
Saturday,
and epic.
Yeah, we've been doing some since you've been here in Ohio. We've been doing a lot of sourcing together.
Yep.
And so we thought we'd start doing a thing here on the show, kind of talking about some of those sales or some of those things that we're finding, because you are finding good stuff here in Ohio, comparable to the stuff that you were finding in Denver, which I always thought, man, look at all the stuff that he finds. But so what are you finding? We'll kind of do a little interview. Jimmy, what are you finding to be the biggest differences or the biggest change from sourcing in Denver to sourcing in Ohio?
Well, for starters there, Ken, the biggest difference
is my DJ interview voice.
I do have. So the biggest difference by far for me and Sonia, or Sonia, that's one of the big differences. Sonia is Sonia in Ohio.
Oh, okay.
She'll tell people her name is Sonia. Like, you mean Sonia? And she's like, no, I'm Sonia. And then I know it's Sonia out here. No, is the driving for us. So that's probably one of the only thing that's kind of a bummer
Yeah.
is we drive a lot more than we ever did in Colorado.
Okay.
But that's, we actually kind of enjoy that part. So that's a big difference. And then, but at yard sales, I think the picking's been better here. It's been
Okay.
amazing here. Quality of items and then the price. Prices
Okay.
are lower here, man. Like I feel like in general,
Uh-huh.
prices are lower. Like even the same kind of sale, like everybody, they're just trying to get rid of stuff. I mean, so here's a funny story. I had a
Yes.
sale that means Sonia and I went to a sale, and some of the weirdest like Walmart style prices I've ever seen at a yard sale, and I was like,
Oh yeah.
and they took the time to price everything out, right? So like this is 40 cents, and this is 38 cents, and this is 62 cents, and
At a yard sale, they
at a
had
yard
40-cent items.
yeah, and I did pretty good. I got like lots of 3 Thomas the Train cars for $1.25, and so I just remember, so like we made a good pile of stuff, and it was all vintage stuff. There'll be a video of it coming out. Made this. No, I didn't take my camera that day. Dang it!
That's right.
That
You
was the
told me
day I
that.
took off my camera. I took a day off from filming. But so Sonia and I, we made a pile of decent stuff. Nothing great. I think the Thomas the Train stuff was the best. And she's all, okay, that'll be $18.90. Again with the coins that she, and so there was this vintage or not vintage, but Disney cars. What are those little reels called? They're like round.
Oh, like a Viewmaster for a Viewmaster? Yeah.
Yeah, Viewfinder, Viewmaster, whatever.
View-
A depth finder. No,
Yeah.
the Viewmaster,
Gotta
and
do some
they
fishing.
had 10 cents on them, and I was like, well, why don't I just grab these and we'll make it 19? So that sale was like I've never seen that. Like everything priced for the most part below $1, and it was all 40 cents and 30 cents and 20 cents and 80 cents.
Now, I've never seen that at a sale. I did, buy some 10-cent stuff. People get those, they buy those little stickers at the, whatever for the prices, and there's 10-cent ones, and usually you don't see that. About minimum is a quarter most
That
of the
sticker
time.
probably costs more than the 10 cents that they put on.
What does, here's a little side note. I wish that the people that make yard sale pricing stickers would understand that at some point somebody's going to want to take that sticker off. You don't have to use like industrial space age adhesives on these things to keep the stickers on, especially when it's on an old like cardboard, vintage card game or something like that. And they stick them on there once to take the paper off. Or
that's another thing that you saying that reminded me of something else that me and Sonia experienced that we never really experienced a lot of in Colorado, is because sales, like when we were hitting some of the rural town sales and the sales were further apart, we saw a lot of multiple family members putting their stuff at one sale.
Okay.
So like, and so everything has a sticker with initials on it. And when you would buy something, they wanted the sticker back because they were collecting stickers to see who made what. And so that was new to us too. Like, I think, I say I've seen it before, but on Friday or whatever day it was everywhere. Like almost every sale we hit, they were like, let me get the sticker off that so I can see who that money's for.
That's one of the things that, out here, you look for the multi-family sale. Because they're usually are supposed to be a little bit bigger than just your normal garage sale.
It makes for a little bit more difficult to negotiate. And by the way, you were there, you witnessed that. Literally, nobody would negotiate with me. Like everybody hated me. Ken was like, "Hey, you got this for $5. Will you take 2?" And they're like, "Sure, bud." Same sale. I was like, "Hey, you got both of these come to $6. Will you take 5?" No, I can't.
No.
In my video I just put out today where this lady wouldn't budge on a couple putters. I was like, I probably came off as rude, but I was like, you know what? The numbers aren't great anyways. Sometimes you just gotta say, you know what? They're not willing to negotiate. Put it down and let's go.
I have noticed that I think there was at one point when we were outsourcing on Friday together, we went down to some community sales and
Yeah.
little citywide sale, and at one point Jimmy's like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
Ken's over here making, deals with everything, and nobody would give him like the one lady. No, I think I'm gonna stick with the $5 on that. It was like a Pokemon
Yeah,
costume or whatever.
it was like a kid's Pokemon Halloween costume. Side
And
deck.
and it's not even that Jimmy's lowballing them or anything.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
decent. You got 5 and you ask, $3 or something. Maybe
Right.
we'll negotiate in the middle. And yeah, he just was getting
Shot
no
now.
love that day whatsoever.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
we
it
did find
happened
some
a couple
pretty
times
good
for sure.
stuff that whole day out together.
Yeah.
So we thought we'd start here on the podcast, maybe just showing, since we have been sourcing together, some of the things that are finds of the week. So
Yeah.
I'll make a little for next week. I'm going to make a little graphic that comes up.
Oh boy.
Finds of the week.
Finds of the week. Oh, sorry.
What a
So
world.
what's your
world.
who's what? I don't physically have any of the items that I picked over the weekend though.
Well, I still have this one. That's over my whatever shoulder that is. My
That one's
right
a
shoulder.
sensitive subject for me. It's a sensitive subject.
It was it's a board game from the 80s. It's called Conquest of the Empire. It's from Milton Bradley. I'm gonna throw up here. I'm gonna throw up.
No. Well, don't do that. We tried to get people to come over to the video side. If you throwing up will probably ruin that. No, that game, I have a story to tell about that game. I'll have a story time for that game. Throwing Sonya under the bus. But if you want to share what you have to say about it before I throw Sonya or Sonya out here under the bus.
Sonya. Well, I don't think we might debate this because I don't think it was Sonya's fault on this one.
We totally disagree.
Jim, okay.
Good. Let me tell you my side
controversy
of the story.
On the Reseller Clickbait podcast.
Let me tell you my side of the story. Now, in the end, I'm glad Ken got the game. The game would have been your $5 wager payment.
Yes.
That game would
I'm
have
still
been
waiting for that. You've been here like a month now.
Well, I recorded a video in that morning that I'm going to find the $5 wager item today and I'm going to give it to you. And that game right there, folks, would have been that $5 wager. So,
yes,
we walk up to the sale.
Yes.
Sonya goes right to that game.
Okay.
I don't know. So, this is why you might not know this. She goes right up to that game and picks it up, starts looking at it.
Yes.
And I say to her, that's probably pretty good.
Okay.
Are you going to look it up? And then I go look around the yard sale. And it should have been like a moment, like a Clark Griswold moment, or like where I looked over and Sonya's standing next to me. And I'm like, oh, hey, how you doing? Turn back around and Ken now has that game.
Yes.
And he's looking it up. So I assumed that Sonya, who had it and was looking at it, and I told her that's probably pretty good. Are you going to look it up? I guess I didn't get her attention enough.
Okay.
But I thought she acknowledged me and said like she was going to look it up. Again, had she not had it and been looking at it, I would have picked it up and looked it up. But she had it. So I turned around.
We went up to the sale. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I turn around. Now Ken has the game and he's looking it up. And I'm so good. This maybe I am to blame because I looked it up and I was like, holy $100 bill, Batman. So anyway, Ken, all fair, got the game, and I'm glad he did. But I thought Sonya was on it, like she was on the job. So now you tell me how it could possibly be my fault.
Well, the way I understood what had happened was I walked up. Well, when we've been sourcing together, it is kind of like not a competition at all. But it's who finds what. You walk up to a sale, generally together, and someone goes left and someone goes right, and who's ever on what side of the good table when you get up there. However, I am like tag team with Jimmy and Sonia Sonia, I'm sorry, with Jimmy and Sonia most of the time because it's 2-on-1 the whole time. So I kind of got to go straight up the middle to get what's going on. So we got to that sale. I didn't even see that game first because I went left. It was on the right. And I went
Sonia
over
went
and
right.
Sonia went right, and Jimmy was kind of left
I was
center.
at the shoes in the back left.
And so I kind of made my way all the way around, got to that table, and I looked down because it was down on the ground, leaning up against the table. And I was like, oh, this looks, any of these kind of Conquest of the Empire or strategic, games look pretty good. So I pick it up. Now then Jimmy's standing right next to me, and he's like, I told Sonia to comp that when we came up here. And so I thought that you were just walking by, you pointed it out, much like your dibs on the blow modes. We're not even turning around the corner. We're not even through the corner. Jimmy's like, dibs on the blow modes.
You just made me sound like really mean. I didn't tell her. I think I said I thought Sonia was comping that.
Okay, because I didn't see that Sonia saw that first. Anyway,
she had it in her hands when we got there. She had that game, and she was holding it.
Oh, I didn't even know she picked it up, or I hadn't seen it. I was looking on the
I took the camera that on film because I use film. I use a film camera.
Jimmy has the big VHS.
That should be on video. I'll have to show you that.
And of course, this is my find of the week. All right.
Yeah.
And the sale before, my battery had died on my GoPro, and so I left it in the car. It's like, well, I don't have time to change it. Let's get up to let's hurry and get to the sale. We're gonna talk about that guy here in a little bit.
Oh man,
the video game guy.
We're not. But, you want to hear me get angry? Stick around, folks.
I go. I'm gonna shorten this up because I do want to talk about this game and my math skills.
Yeah.
So I pick it up, then Jimmy's standing beside me. He's like, man, that's probably going to be a good one. I'd have probably had that one if Sonia would have comped it. And so I look it up. So I'm going to throw up here on the screen another good reason to jump over from the audio side is this is one of the last sold comps on this game.
He's gonna figure out how to work StreamYard in a second.
Wait, that's not it though. Hold on.
Oh, he broke it.
Oh, I had the wrong thing. I'm figuring it out.
So we're trying to get people to come over to the video side, and you're not helping a whole lot.
Conquest of the Empire, Milton Bradley, $150, and that was on a bid, on an auction bid. Now,
you see that, Sonia? You see that, Sonia?
Are you watching? Now they were asking $5 for the game, which naturally I ended up getting it for $3
because people would negotiate with.
Because people were just
I
giving.
I would have had to pay the full $5. They would.
I would pick it up and they'd go, I'll take $3 for that if you don't want to pay the full $10 price.
Yep.
And Sonia did negotiate a good deal. Maybe one of your good finds, those skateboards.
Yeah, Sonia.
A couple of vintage
right now is
Nash brand.
Kicking my butt and picking. She's basically taught me a lesson or two on how to pick.
So that could be now that comp across the board, that 150 again, it was like one of the last ones that were sold. I'm looking probably between $80 and $100. The game is complete, and that's where I get to my story and my math skills, Jimmy. So I'm sitting there the other night, I get the game out, there's all these little teeny tiny parts in there.
Yeah.
And don't jump ahead of me before everybody will get the ending of this story before I'm even done. So I'm counting all the pieces. There's all these little soldiers in there, and I'm looking in the directions. It tells what's contents of the game, and there's supposed to be 60 of these little tiny soldiers.
Yep.
And I'm lining them up in the game thing, and there's like a holder that holds everything. And it'll hold like 7 across, and I got 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7. And then I fill up that little section, and I'm putting them in 2s beside it. So I get to the thing, and I'm like, okay, 7, and there's 6 rows, so that's 36. And then there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 34, and I get there. It's like, damn it, I'm like short. It was the only pieces, all the other little coins, all the bridges, all the boats, everything's there. I'm 7 pieces short on these little soldiers. And so I go back. So then I count the other ones 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 10, and then 7 times 6 rows, 36 is such and such. And I'm like, damn it. This game was going to be complete. It had everything, still had the advertising stuff in it. And so, okay, then I go in and it's like, okay, one more time, I'm going to count them rather than doing math. I'm going to count seven rows 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12, 14, 21. 30. Oh, wait, 7 times 6 is 42.
You're good.
I'm not 7 pieces short. And actually on the game, most every piece that was in the game was like 1 piece over what the count was supposed to be. So I actually had 61 little soldiers, but I just found, I don't do math. I don't know how many times I said that in my head. 7 times 6 is 36. And
and I didn't even catch you on that because I don't do math either.
And so, well, there we go. I'm sure somebody in the crowd, somebody watching or listening, has figured out that.
Oh, I'm sure. I know Dan the Answer Man was like, no, it's not. As soon as you said 36. That, no, it's not. He said that right away. Dan, comment down below. I guarantee you, as soon as you said that, he said, no, it's not.
That is not it. So, what was your? So that was my find of the week, and a controversy. And Jimmy and I are on the out. So I'm surprised we're even recording tonight.
Sonia, she probably left it there and said, "Ken, go get that. Go."
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, that's what really went down. My best, Sonia is kicking my butt. So
yes,
she found a vintage Nash skateboard that's all wood with the metal wheels on it.
Yeah.
This particular design, there's none on eBay.
Yes.
Similars anywhere from $150 to $300 for one skateboard. We're going to list the high since there's none of this one on eBay or anywhere. We're going to list it at 300 and see what happens. It's got the wheels on it. A very similar one sold for right around 300 with the old wood surfboard is what they call it.
Yeah.
So we'll see on that. She also found a rare Funko Pop for she bought like 5 things for $3.
Uh-huh.
And this is another, Jimmy's just a terrible picker. We are picking, and I have to go to the bathroom. Bad.
Okay.
And I look across the street, and there's a house under construction. So I'm like, you know what? You go ahead and pick this sale. I got to go to the bathroom. I ran across the street and used the porta potty. I get back. She's like, I found this handful of stuff.
Oh, the porta potty. I thought you meant like the house was under construction, like they hadn't put the plumbing in yet, but they had installed the toilet. And
Jimmy's right there in the living room. Yeah. Everybody could see because the walls weren't even up or anything. Yeah. No, so I used the porta potty because they always have a porta potty out front when they're working on a house.
Yeah.
And so I get back. She's like, I got this handful of stuff for $3. And I was like, oh, cool. That's good. Let's go. And there was this Funko Pop. Well, it's a Disney Toy Story Woody Funko Pop.
Yeah.
And so look it up. And number 03, but there's a red label one. For those of you listening and watching, there's a red label that's literally has sold for $200 plus more than $200.
Nice.
This box has a little bit of damage, but I still think she'll get $175, $180 for this Funko Pop. So yeah, she's kicking my butt. Now I did have the funnest find.
Okay.
I found at a yard sale. I walk up, and right away I see a box full of vintage Ghostbuster toys.
Okay.
It's got the Ecto one in there, and it's got all the figures and the Stay Puft and Slimer and all. But there's a lady looking in the box.
Ooh.
And so I'm like, oh no, literally a second too late. And so while she's looking at those, I look at the table and I see a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle action figure case.
Okay.
And it says $10 on it.
Okay.
And so I'm like, please let this be heavy when I pick it up. Please let it be full of figures. I pick it up and it's full of figures. Open it up. I see all the rare figures in there too, like the the clowns and the
Yeah.
caveman and stuff like that. And so that was $10. So I grabbed that. Right after I grabbed that, the lady walked away from the Ghostbuster box. So I take that,
Okay.
I put it in the Ghostbuster box, pick that stuff up, take it over to the lady and say, I want to buy these. Can I make a pile right here? So I put them in a pile. I ask, and then Sonia finds a box full of Matchbox and Hot Wheels cars that were vintage
Okay.
for $3. So I'm like, we'll buy that too, because the Ghostbuster box was $7. So that makes those two 10, and then the turtles are 10, so we're at 20. And then I asked her, and I didn't get this part on tape. I asked her, do you have any other old toys or video games?
Yeah.
And she had some Atari games.
Okay.
So she brings back a box of Atari games, which Atari doesn't do great, but there's like 18 games in there.
Yeah.
And so she said 15, and I was like, well, I was thinking 10. You want to do 12? So someone negotiated with me. She said, yeah, I'll take 12. And then Sonia finds this RC truck thing.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Did you negotiate with her or did you negotiate with yourself? You said she wanted 15 and you said 10.
Yeah.
But will you
so
do
I said,
12?
No, that's a negotiation. You want to meet at
okay.
12.
Okay.
Right? She wanted 15. And then I said, well, I was thinking 10. You want to meet at 12.50 or what? 12.50 because the truck that Sonia found, which is like this rare 80s RC truck, is worth like $75. It had 50 cents on it. So we'll go 12.50 and then we'll do 13. So we ended up paying $33 or whatever for everything. Does that sound right?
I think so. I don't
we had
math.
10,
I mean, obviously
10, 13, and 13. So yeah, $33 for. But yeah, it's gonna be a really good video. I'm really excited for the video.
That sale sounds exciting. Yeah, I wasn't with you that day. That was like Saturday, right? We went out Friday.
Right. Yeah.
And I want to back up too a little bit about the theme of Friday with nobody negotiating with Jimmy.
Oh yeah.
Is on those skateboards.
Yep.
Sonia ended up going back. They wanted $5 a piece for them, and she got both of them for $6.
Yeah,
I remember that.
And I walked past those I saw those skateboards, and I didn't even look at them really.
So did I. I was looking at them already, and I had tried to comp, and I couldn't find anything. Like you said, none were listed. Yep. And
go figure me. I'm looking at Disney dolls at that sale while Sonia's looking up the skateboards that are worth $300. So that makes me a great picker right there.
So next weekend, I'm calling Sonia, and her and I are going to go picking and just leave.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she's going to point out all the good stuff to you anyway. So, and her name is Sonia, by the way. It's Sonia.
Oh yes, Sonia. Next weekend though, we got a big citywide. We'll be excited to report on that after next week's show. So hopefully we'll have. But there's a big citywide that Jill and I have been going to for 25 years.
Heck yeah. And Sonia's going to outpick all of us there too.
We've got that's a fun day, Jimmy. That's when we're playing bingo. A couple of days. Actually, we stay overnight so that we can be there early for the sales. But we play a lot of games. There's plenty of picking during the year to that you don't have to race around, and there's plenty of sales.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, I just said race around. And you had talked about earlier that you asked the lady for video games. We got to talk about video game guy. One of these guys that kind of gives, I think gives resellers a bad name. And so do you want to start the story, or do you want to comment on it? How do you want to do it?
I mean, I definitely want to talk about it. You guys experienced him first.
Okay.
Sonia and you were at a different sale than I was, right?
No. That was not. You guys had walked up. I was still.
Oh, okay. So
here's the scenario.
First, then.
Yeah, you and Sonia actually heard the guy. I was on the. So, okay, I'll start the story. You get to the meat of it, and then I'll get to what I saw afterwards.
Right.
So
right.
parking the car because we were a
That's
few
right.
sales down.
Yep.
And you guys were walking up to the sale. So I pulled the car around to get closer, 3 or 4 doors down. And as I'm doing it, this guy kind of just speeds in real quick. He's parked
Yep.
cockeyed half in the street, and he gets out
This
of
is-
the car, and he's just got this frenzied look on his face. I don't even think he put the car
But you
in
missed the
drive.
part, though. You missed the part. He not only did he park in a frenzy, he got out of the car and he ran. I'm not joking. Ran
That's
to the sale.
that's the part I'm talking. That's
Oh,
the part I'm telling.
Okay, I'm sorry.
He pulls in cockeyed, and he gets out of the car, and he's just frenzied, like and he's looking at the sale, and he just runs up the driveway like in his flip-flops.
Yeah.
The guy's got flip-flops on, it's
Flip. That's all I heard. Flip.
and so now Jimmy and Sonia are already at the sale, and what's the guy do?
Well, hold on though, because so now I didn't know you didn't know this part of the story then, because I as I was walking to the sale that you're talking about, I saw him pull up to a sale across the street. I thought you were at that sale. So you weren't at that sale. So that's so I want to tell that part of it. I saw him do the same thing at a sale across the street where he comes flying into the park, like you said, in a frenzy. He gets out of the car and he is sprinting, folks, not jogging, not runs up to that sale. And I'm like, what? Like, does he live there? Is there something going on? And so I just want to tell that part because so now we're at that sale you're talking about.
Yeah.
And the same guy, like you said, comes parking up, and he, in a frenzy and just a total ruckus chaos, comes running flip up the driveway. and I'm already thinking, if this guy asks for video games, I might hurt him. And I'll that's how he was, right? He was like, like he was on drugs. I'm sorry, but he's like, I'm looking for video games, collectibles, and toys. Like,
which, by the way, he ran up that sale. There was a number of people at that sale, and he just ran right in up to the lady that was running the sale.
I'm not gonna lie, I had like a sunny Las Vegas moment where I was holding my ground, and if I was just waiting, please bump into me, dude. Like, because I was like you give what we do a bad name. You make us look bad doing that, man. Like, that's not what we do. Like, that's not what I do. That's not what we do. Even the people that only walk up and ask for video games at least do it politely.
Yeah.
And while I don't like that they do that because it takes video games away from me, at least they're polite about it. This guy was nuts.
Was rude. Yeah.
Rude. Just caused a big old scene in the sale. And then as soon as they said, oh, I don't have anything like that, he runs back to his car, like sprinting. I'm not lying. He was running. And he had like long hair and glasses on. He's just like, it was wild.
And then, the lady that was running the sale was an older lady.
Yeah.
And she, I think it scared her. This guy come running up the driveway. He looked like a caveman, pretty much. And
it was like he looked like there was something to be concerned about the way he was running.
Right up in her face, right up there. Do you have any video collectibles? Do you have toys? That's what I'm looking for. Do you have any? And she's like, oh, yeah, no, I don't think I have any. And off, and then also just the way that he was acting. This was a kind of a quiet little residential, houses real close together and streets. And he pulled out of there as quickly as he could and off to the next sale. And you seen him almost go 2 wheels around the corner to follow the next side. And it's just like,
and I'll
really,
say,
dude,
if you do that, I hope I offend you. Like, I'm not even going to say not to offend you, but if you're like that, like, you're giving us a bad name. And I don't want, let me know now so I don't associate with you, because the listeners, any listeners, if you're doing that, like, that's not what we do.
And okay, I also I do not that attitude, not that the way that the guy went about it, but I love the video game guys that run it, come into the sale and they're like, do you have video games, toys, collectibles? And then they leave. They're more polite about it. They might look around, because all of the stuff that they leave on the table. I'm sure
Right.
they have that niche and that's what they do. But that's the same sale, Jimmy, where you bought the vintage cake toppers, the
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
70s DC,
yeah,
Superman,
yeah.
Batman,
Yep.
and
He
and
he
left the
didn't,
cake pan.
because he didn't even, yeah, that, well, that's a whole nother story. She was like, it was $3 for everything, and I was like, well, I don't want the pan, can I just take the toppers? And she goes, well, that ain't gonna do them any good without the cake pan. And I was like,
Uh-huh.
so I was like, will you do $2 for all the toppers and I'll leave you the pan to sell? And she was like, no, we're not. That one, well, I was like, okay, I'll give you $3. And then I paid $3 and I still only took the toppers.
Only took the toppers.
I didn't take
I
the
think
cake pan.
she was probably just rattled because that guy
Yeah.
was just, it was a flurry of
It
activity all of a
was,
sudden in that sale. And it
yeah,
was
and like you said though, he didn't look at anything. He didn't look at anything at the sale.
not
He just asked the question. When he got the answer, no, he was out of there. Yeah,
yeah,
pretty.
out of breath, sweaty Neanderthal looking guy
Yeah,
flip
like
flopping up the driveway.
that's
And
exactly.
I'm not being judgmental of his appearance or whatever, but
Go
I'm just
ahead.
kind of
He
giving
deserved
you
it.
so let us know in the comments down below if you see the video game guys and you see that experience of the people that run in and they're so focused on one thing, boom, and they're out of the sale and they leave. As resellers, we look for certain types of things. You know, if I were going to ask somebody at a sale, do you
Yeah.
have video games or vintage toys or
And
collectibles?
yeah,
That's if they ask me, or
if
if
they
you
ask me,
know,
that's the first thing I say. Yeah, and there's been times where I, and feel the room and the crowd and like, okay, this there's potential for that kind of stuff to be at this sale.
that's where I get goofy at the sales. Remember that one sale that we had to chase like for miles outside of town. We ended up driving like 7 minutes
Oh
outside
yeah,
of town, and the guy, it was so rural of an area, there wasn't anything around. And the guy's like, "Hey, is there anything that you're looking for that you want?" And Jimmy's like, "Well, I usually look for vintage toys and video games and stuff like that." And the guy's like, "I don't think I don't have anything." And so I just walk up right behind and go, "Do you have any vintage toys and video games?"
yeah. Surprisingly, the guy was like, "Yeah, I do actually. And I'll sell them to you for half price."
He went in the house and he got Turtles, he got Voltron, I got
Yeah, yeah.
He-Man. No, that was
No, but comment down below, like Ken said, and we like to joke around and maybe exaggerate a little bit from time to time.
sure.
This we're not. The guy was literally running, acting crazy, yelling out what he was looking for. It was. I've never seen anything like it. It was weird, and I didn't agree with it at all.
Yes. Yeah, it was
So,
out of hand,
anyways,
but we had a good day. We've had some good days of sourcing.
we call him the flip guy because.
Flip, flip, flop, flip,
Anyway,
flip, flop,
yeah.
flip, flop, flip, flip,
Go ahead. Sorry.
flip, 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 flip.
I was like, what is going on? What is happening right now? I
So,
didn't get
Jimmy,
to say
we were
the
going to
best thing
touch.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Go. No. Why
Yeah.
skipped out your best thing?
No, I did. We talked about the turtles. I forgot.
Oh,
I was all hyped up about this guy that I
about
forgot.
video game guy. Yeah.
As Ken and Sonia, I was like, that dude gives us a bad name. Anyway.
Yes, it was tough. But hey, one of the topics we were going to talk about here on the thing to kind of switch gears a little bit is all of the new there's AI, artificial intelligence is the big
Is that what that stands
talk.
for? I never knew.
Yes, that's is kind of the big talk across, everything, not just reselling and stuff. And so I was showing Jimmy the other day. I'll back up. I was watching the Reseller Information Network on Tuesdays with Eric, Tim, Chernock, Leroy, where they do the listing or loafing on Tuesdays.
Yep.
And Tim, over the years, had found an ashtray or something. I forget what, a piece of glassware, because he's a big glassware. Of
course, it was glassware. Of course, Tim is the king of glass.
And he was talking about it. They couldn't find it, blah blah blah. But it was a really cool color and stuff. And he says, "Man, I'll bet you I'll be AIing crap out of this with on the photos, or however he worded it. I'm going to be the backgrounds using the AI stuff. Photo room is one of the.
Ooh, we should photo room. We should AI the thumbnail for this podcast. We're doing it. AI
Okay.
thumbnail for this podcast.
There we go. Since we're kind of talking about that's a good idea. So I was showing Jimmy. I'm going to throw up on the screen here. So
you keep
after
throwing
Tim
up
had said that,
can we say put up or display? The throwing up on the screen, the audio people are just like, this guy keeps tossing, just keeps throwing up on.
Joan is losing his lunch.
Yeah.
Which is most likely Kraft macaroni and cheese.
And you clean them up with
sponsor of the show. Still waiting for the Kraft money to start rolling in. But I do have FJ Mac right here though.
FJ Mac. And apparently
Kraft
Ken
macaroni.
likes his macaroni and cheese, basically macaroni and cheese soup, which is
I like it a little more milk in it than what the directions call for. But anyway,
a little more.
So I hear Tim talking about that he's going to AI the background of this ashtray with like some smoke and stuff in it. And so I thought, I'm going to check that out because I used a photo room app as well. And I'm going to throw up a picture here. I had this Wolverine from the X-Men, like a 12-inch action figure. Okay. And so this is the normal picture that I would list for the item that I have up there on the screen. And this is the picture that I actually listed it with. Okay, you got the same.
So it's Wolverine at a campfire with a volcano behind him.
It's a volcano. The whole thing's a volcano. It does look like
not a campfire. It looks like this. It literally looks like there's the wood is stacked in there. Oh, that's just lava. I called it a campfire.
Magma.
It's magma. So like someone's gonna go to buy that. And he's all, does the campfire, is that included?
Yeah, exactly. Is the whole. But
I was gonna say, oddly enough, Ken used the AI, and this is the thumbnail it came up with. That was so crazy that it came up with that as the background. How did that? Like, it was supposed to be Wolverine, and it's Ken photobombing a wedding. Oh, shit. So I mean, they might want to make some adjustments to that AI. So, anyway, you guys got to come over to the video side now.
Oh, that's okay. Jimmy wins the day on that one. Oh, that was funny. So I did that with a couple others, and it was really like almost like a 2-click process to get that. But we were talking, and you were saying that you're hoping it doesn't go to that.
I don't want to have to AI all my pictures.
Yeah.
Add steps. Do you? I mean, I think it's cool. Yeah. I think it definitely gives the listing some flair. But I guess I've been kind of trained that the white. I've perfected my white backdrop to where I don't have to use photo room for the most part. Now I won't say perfected, but it's really good to where I don't have to use photo room. I have a nice setup where I can just walk up, snap pictures, and I don't have to worry about that extra step. I don't use eBay's remover. I don't use photo room. I use photo room for my clothes because I take those pictures on the floor. But everything else, I have a quick process, and I don't want to add a step. So that's the only reason. I think it looks cool. But I don't want to add that step. And I know there's tools that they have where you can do it quickly. But that's an extra cost then. I don't pay for photo room. I do the free.
Okay. I do have the subscription to photo room. So
now, do you have to pay to have that backdrop made? Is that the paid version? Oh, no.
No. Well, I have the paid version of photo room. I don't know.
I can check then.
Yeah, because it was there for me because
yeah. No, I think it looks cool though. And I think it could I think it works really good for like action figures, but like there's certain
General everyday stuff. Yeah.
like if you're selling a thermostat for your air conditioner in your house, like what's I mean, if you put a volcano behind that doesn't work great.
Well, if it's for an air conditioner, it's
Maybe
like,
it'll.
look, this thing will cool down a volcano.
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah,
So, there is a little correlation, but it was just cool. It was something I experimented with it. I've only done it with that one thing and that particular item. There's nothing special about that
yeah. It's just a
Wolverine
cool action
right
figure.
there, but I did get some watchers right away,
Ew.
and I did send out some offers. I didn't sell the thing, but it was I don't know,
Yeah,
something interesting, something. If again, we like to see the comments and see what people are doing.
yeah. I
If
just kind
you're
of
working with AI in backgrounds, and we'll probably talk about this and investigate it a little bit further in like a future episode as things come up. But
yeah.
if you're doing stuff with AI, or if you see where things are going to,
I call it like my setting the clock on the VCR moment. Back in the day when our
yeah,
parents didn't know how to set the clock on the VCR and we knew
yeah,
how. That's
yes,
kind of where I'm at with AI. Like my kids will probably but I just it's now I know it's not a matter of not really knowing how to do it. It's just not wanting to take the time to figure it all out and
yeah.
do it all,
And
When
I
I
heard somebody mentioning the other day, I forget who I was watching, that, talked about, is the future of the AI stuff, is it that it basically is going to do your listings and do your descriptions and do your,
right.
you're just basically buying the stuff, taking
We're
photos,
becoming
and
the movie Wall-E right before we're gonna be
yes.
all the people from Wall-E, yeah.
So I just thought that was interesting that we were talking about the AI and I had done that with that background. It'd have
Yeah.
been cool if it had sold already. And of course you never know. Is it because of the background, or is it because you do see a lot when you do like sold comps on items. It's like, my photographs. Okay, so that was an example, that Wolverine just on the white background right there.
Yeah.
That's an example of a common listing that I would have right there.
Yep.
Decent picture,
Yeah.
maybe a little bit darker in the background, but uh, it's like I often think, do I take way too much time with my photos? Because some things that people sell when you're doing soul comps, it's like, why would somebody even buy that with that particular photo? They
Yeah.
just threw it on the floor, or
Yeah. The
it's on the
lights were
kitchen
off.
table, and
Yeah.
and everything is, laying around it. And it's like,
Yeah.
but it's like, so am I spending too much time? Can I just literally throw something down, snap a photo? At
Yeah.
that point, is it your titles? Is it your description? Is
I
it
think it's a combination of all that for sure. I
of
think
everything?
some people do spend way too much time on their photos when they should be spending more, because I think you've found this out, spending more time on their setup, having everything you need to where you can take the pictures fast.
Yeah.
The seamless backdrop, the right lights, setting up the program on your phone to where it takes good, using the right
Yeah.
setting or whatever. Once you get all that stuff dialed in, then it does become throw it down and take a picture. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
spend time on that part, and you only have to do it like once, and then adjust every once in a while when something changes. But yeah, I think after that you can just, like you said, throw it down and take a picture of it if you do it right. Anyways, that's
Yes.
my
So, do
opinion.
you have any good sales this week, Jimmy?
I did. I had a great sale. It was
What was your
early in the week.
sale of the week? Week.
It was that plush. I mean, that was still early in the week. This is a real. There's a big story behind this plush. Sonia, again, kicking my butt, found this at an estate sale. It was $1, but it was also kind of a throw in. It was a last day of the estate sale, kind of just thrown in the bag and said, just take it type thing. Had $1 on it, whatever. It turned out to be a very rare Munich Olympic plush.
Yes.
And when we went to list it, I was like, you know what? Just tear the tags off of it and give it to the dogs. That literally happened because it looked like it would make a good dog toy, because it's a little dog, a little dachshund. I'm gonna put it up right here.
Yeah.
It's this guy right here. This little, You can see the Olympic
Oh,
logo
that's
on it.
cool. Yeah.
It's from the 70s. It's from the Munich Olympics, which obviously had some some historic events happen at that Olympics, by the way.
Yes.
Looking at listed, people had that plush listed for $900 and higher. There were no real sold comps. And I had it listed for $900 for a long time. And then I had been lowering the price, and it was now when it was listed recently, it was listed for just over 600.
Yeah.
And I finally got an offer that was because I had gotten really low offers on it lots of times, like less than 100. And I finally got an offer for $350. And I was like, you know what? This thing's been sitting for over probably close to 2 years. And I was like, it's time. Let's just $350 for something that I got for free. And I just moved. I could use the money, if you will. So I took the offer, and $350 plus shipping on that thing, man.
That is a
thing,
sweet sale. I was gonna
8-9 inches long. It was not even a big plush, just a little.
I was gonna stop you, Jimmy, and tell folks, hey, we're gonna kind of do a sale of the week, but if you go check out Old School Resale, you'll see a little more in depth story about that plush. So go check out Jimmy's channel, Old School Resale.
Yeah,
to see that plush. It is a really cool sale.
Crazy.
I remember your original video when you found it, because you were going to give it. I wasn't paying attention when you were just rambling on a second ago. Did you say how it was going to be a dog toy? You were going to tear the tags off?
I told Sonya to give it to the dogs. Yep.
I'm not usually listening to Jimmy. When
I wouldn't listen to me either. I actually haven't been paying attention to this whole show. What did you say? What was your sale? I don't care what your sale was.
It don't matter what
it doesn't matter. Sorry, I'm getting loud.
I sold this was like really towards the end of last week. It was not say within this technically the last week, but a good sale nonetheless. It was a Kodak digital camera, a DC-120, which was kind of like Kodak's first attempt at a digital camera. And so it was still big and bulky and built like a regular camera. And I can throw that up on the screen right here as well. That ended up selling for $129.99. The buyer paid the shipping on that. Wow. And so I had bought I guess my story on that one is I was at a sale. They had $20 on that. And I turned around and asked the fella if he would take 15. I said, yeah, you got 15 on this. Would you do 20? What? And I said,
wait, you just said that wrong.
What?
Did you mean to say that wrong? Is that part of the story?
What did I say?
You said that you got 15 on this. Would you take 20?
I just messed. Yeah, I was negotiating like you, Jimmy. I'll give you 10 if you'll take 12.
Well, I was wondering if that was part of your negotiating technique, or did you just accidentally say that? Y'all heard that, right?
Okay.
You got that backwards.
Okay, I'm going to start this. Hey, you got 20 on this.
Should we rewind it?
Okay. Oh, I should have thrown the thing back up on the screen reverse.
Oh, yeah, that would have been great.
If say, hey, you got 20 on this, would you do 15? And an older couple running, he's like, what? I said, will you take 15 on this? You have 20, you have it marked at 20. He's like, oh yeah, I'll take 16 for it. And and so I was like, okay, that's good.
Give him the dollar now.
So then the lady, his wife, I assume it was his wife. I hear her, doing that, the whisper where you have to whisper to, somebody that's hard of hearing. And she's like, he asked you if you would take 15 for it. And he goes, what?
What?
He said, will you take 15? And he's like, oh, well, he already said he'd give 16 for it. So, so I paid $16 for that. And it sold for 130.
Nice.
And so that was my sale of the week. Yeah, it was like I don't know. It was just a funny
No,
a
that's good.
funny
That's a
thing.
good
And then
story.
I tried to make him a deal on something else that there and so he actually walked over to me so that he could hear what I was.
What? What you say?
So yeah, all in all, it was a good week. With sourcing, with
Yeah,
sales.
sourcing was
Looking
great.
forward to this week. Looking forward to the big citywide
Yeah,
sale,
playing
and
some bingo.
yes, and see if I can't embarrass Jimmy. We'll talk a little bit more about that next week
Yeah,
and what
we'll
we
have
did
some
and
stories to tell for sure.
who won that. But Jimmy, I need to go because
Yeah,
Nashville
you're gonna.
Flippers tonight, Nashville Flipper channel. If you don't listen to his podcast this week,
He's the
in
one that's too
reselling,
many though. There's one too many, and it's him.
there's one too many in this field of reselling podcasts. His topic tonight is: are there too many reselling podcasts? In his thumbnail, he's got Trash to Cash guys. He's got Paul Philly Flipper with his flip the flip side. He's got the
Let's
ladies, the
do
Let's Do
lunch.
Lunch ladies. He's got
Let's
us
do
on there,
brunch.
and so I think I might go over there and pop into his show, just to defend our position here, see what that
Defend
topic
our
is really
honor.
about. And there's really only one podcast,
Yeah.
RCBP for the win,
The
Jimmy.
RC peanut butter challenge. Yeah.
So I'm gonna hop over there, check out his show. If so, this will come out on. We're recording Sunday night. This will come out Monday morning at
Yep.
11 a.m. So you'll need to go back over and watch the replay of the Nashville Flippers This Week in Reselling podcast to see how that turned out. And um, we'll catch you next week on the Reseller Clickbait podcast.